December 24th, 2002. The air was crisp with the anticipation of Christmas. Families gathered, their homes aglow with warmth and laughter. But in the heart of Modesto, California, a sinister shadow was about to fall. A shadow that would silence the joy of one family forever. This is the story of Laci Peterson, a story of love, betrayal, and a murder that shook a nation. The police began their investigation. They scoured the neighborhood, desperate for any sign of Laci. Friends and family joined the search, their hearts heavy with worry. Days turned into weeks, and the mystery deepened. The cheerful glow of Christmas gave way to the grim reality of Laci's disappearance. The media descended upon Modesto, hungry for every detail. The nation watched, captivated by the mystery surrounding Laci's disappearance. Where could she be? Was she still alive? Laci and Scott Peterson, the perfect couple. At least that's what it seemed like. They lived in a quiet neighborhood in Modesto, California. Their life together seemed idyllic, full of promise, full of hope. Laci was a substitute teacher. She was loved by her students and respected by her colleagues. Her warm smile and infectious laughter could brighten anyone's day. She was the heart and soul of her family, the kind of person who made everyone feel special. Scott owned a fertilizer business. He was handsome and charming. He had a way of making people feel at ease. On the surface, they seemed to have it all. A loving marriage, a beautiful home, and a baby on the way. But behind the facade of perfection, darkness was brewing. Whispers of discontent began to surface. Cracks appeared in their seemingly perfect life. Unbeknownst to Laci, Scott harbored secrets. Scott's business was struggling. He was drowning in debt. Desperate to maintain the illusion of success, he began to gamble. His losses mounted, his lies grew bolder, and his desperation deepened. Meanwhile, Laci was busy preparing for motherhood. She was filled with excitement and anticipation. She couldn't wait to meet her child, to hold her baby in her arms, to shower her child with love. As Laci's due date approached, Scott's secrets began to weigh on him. His web of lies was about to unravel, and the consequences would be devastating. On January 24, 2003, 1 month after Laci's disappearance, Scott Peterson made a televised plea for her safe return. He appeared calm and collected, but his words rang hollow. "Laci, if you're out there and you can hear me, please come home," he said. "There's nothing that can't be resolved. We can work through this." Despite his pleas, suspicion continued to mount. The police had uncovered inconsistencies in Scott's story. His alibi didn't add up, and his behavior raised red flags. The nation watched and waited. Hopes of finding Laci alive began to dwindle. The case had captivated the nation, becoming a media sensation. But amidst the frenzy, one question remained unanswered. What happened to Laci Peterson? April 2003. The spring air was supposed to be filled with the promise of new life. Instead, a chill settled over the nation. A couple walking their dog along the shore of San Francisco Bay made a horrifying discovery. A body, badly decomposed, but undeniably human. The news spread like wildfire. Could this be Laci? The body was too decomposed for immediate identification. Days of agonizing wait stretched on. Hope, already fading, flickered precariously. Families waited. The nation held its breath. Then, the confirmation came. The body was Laci Peterson's. The cause of death? Murder. The nightmare that had haunted everyone for months was now a horrifying reality. Laci was gone, taken from this world in the most brutal way imaginable. The discovery of Laci's body shifted everything. What had been a missing person case transformed into a murder investigation, and all eyes turned to Scott Peterson, the grieving husband now the prime suspect. The evidence, though circumstantial, painted a damning picture. Scott's behavior, once deemed suspicious, now seemed incriminating. His lies about his whereabouts on the day Laci disappeared, his affair with Amber Frey, his cold demeanor. It all added up to a chilling portrait of a man with something to hide. The prosecution argued that Scott, drowning in debt and unwilling to be a father, had murdered Laci and disposed of her body in the bay. They painted a picture of a calculated and heartless killer, a man who had betrayed his vows in the most horrific way. To Laci's murder. The Laci Peterson case was a media circus. News channels provided round-the-clock coverage, every detail, no matter how small, scrutinized and debated. The public, captivated by the case's twists and turns, became both judge and jury in the court of public opinion. The media attention was relentless. Cameras followed every move of the Peterson family. Talking heads dissected every piece of evidence. Legal experts weighed in on the case's strengths and weaknesses. The trial became a national obsession. The intense media scrutiny had a profound impact on the trial. Potential jurors were bombarded with information about the case, making it difficult to find an impartial jury. The defense argued that the media attention had prejudiced the jury pool, making a fair trial impossible. Was finally over. Justice, though bittersweet, had been served. Scott Peterson, the man who had once promised to love and cherish Laci, was now a convicted murderer. The nation, which had been gripped by the case for 2 years, reacted with a mixture of shock and satisfaction. The trial had become a national obsession, a real-life courtroom drama that had played out on television screens across the country. For many, the guilty verdict brought a sense of closure. The case had sparked a national conversation about marital infidelity, media ethics, and the presumption of innocence. It had also highlighted the power of forensic evidence and the importance of a thorough investigation. Scott Peterson, once a seemingly ordinary man, had become a symbol of betrayal and deceit. But even as the nation grappled with the verdict, questions lingered. What had truly motivated Scott to kill his wife? Had he acted alone? And would he ever reveal the full truth about what happened to Laci? The answers, like Laci herself, remained elusive. The jury to show mercy. On March 16, 2005, Judge DeLucchi sentenced Scott Peterson to death. He was to be executed by lethal injection at San Quentin State Prison, home to California's death row. Scott, emotionless, showed no remorse as the sentence was read. His journey from seemingly perfect husband to condemned prisoner was complete. Life on death row is a stark existence. It's a place of isolation, where the condemned live with the constant knowledge that their time on earth is running out. Scott, now known as inmate number W87380, began his new life in a 6-by-9-foot cell, allowed 1 hour of exercise a day. His every move was monitored, every visitor scrutinized. Despite his circumstances, Scott maintained his innocence. He filed numerous appeals claiming that he had been denied a fair trial due to the intense media scrutiny and alleged prosecutorial misconduct. His family stood by him, convinced that he was a victim of circumstance, wrongly convicted. Thought was behind them. The stage was set for a new chapter in the Laci Peterson saga. In 2022, a judge ordered Scott Peterson to be resentenced. The news sent shockwaves through the legal community and beyond. The nation prepared to once again be captivated by the case that had gripped them for 2 decades. The resentencing hearing, originally scheduled for 2022, faced numerous delays. Legal motions, requests for evidence review, and the complexities of a case that had spanned 2 decades contributed to the postponements. The families of both Laci and Scott waited, their lives on hold, as the wheels of justice slowly turned. The delays, while frustrating, highlighted the importance of a fair and thorough legal process. They also underscored the emotional toll that high-profile cases can take on everyone involved, from the families to the legal teams to the public at large. Throughout the years of legal wrangling, one person remained a constant presence: Laci's mother, Sharon Rocha. A pillar of strength and resilience, Sharon never gave up hope for justice for her daughter and unborn grandchild. She attended every hearing, her presence a stark reminder of the human cost of Scott's actions. Sharon became an advocate for victims' rights, using her platform to ensure that Laci and Connor's story would not be forgotten. She channeled her grief into action, working tirelessly to support other families who had lost loved ones to violence. Her strength and determination served as an inspiration to many. The chilling murder of Laci Peterson remains a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly perfect lives. It's a story of love and betrayal, of secrets and lies, and of the enduring power of a mother's love. In the end, the case serves as a testament to the pursuit of justice, no matter how long or arduous the journey. October 2022. The courtroom was once again a crucible of emotions. The years had etched lines of pain and fatigue on the faces of Laci and Scott's families. The resentencing hearing was not about determining guilt, but about deciding the fate of a convicted murderer. Scott Peterson, his hair now graying, sat stoically as the judge handed down his sentence. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. The death penalty was off the table, but the prospect of freedom, once a glimmer in the eyes of his supporters, was extinguished. His sentence was a finality that echoed the loss of Laci and Connor. Reactions to the sentence were mixed, a reflection of the deeply divided public opinion that had followed the case for 2 decades. Some felt that justice had been served, that a life sentence was a fitting punishment for the brutal murders of Laci and Connor. Others clung to the belief in Scott's innocence, viewing the sentence as a tragic miscarriage of justice. The resentencing brought a legal end to the case but failed to provide closure. Time hadn't dimmed the pain of Laci's loved ones. Sharon Rocha addressed the court one last time. She spoke of the immeasurable void left by Laci and Connor's absence. Her words resonated deeply with those present. For Scott's family, the sentence was another bitter pill to swallow. They maintained his innocence, clinging to the belief he was wrongfully convicted. The Laci Peterson case, a tragedy that unfolded in the relentless glare of the media spotlight, left an indelible mark on the American psyche. It sparked national conversations about marital infidelity, the pressures of societal expectations, and the often blurred lines between a fair trial and a media circus. The case also served as a catalyst for advancements in forensic science and investigative techniques. The use of DNA evidence, cell phone records, and computer forensics played a crucial role in securing Scott's conviction, forever changing the landscape of criminal investigations. But beyond the legal ramifications and technological advancements, the case left a legacy of loss, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of domestic violence. Laci and Connor's story became a rallying cry for victims' rights advocates, fueling efforts to raise awareness and provide support for those affected by similar tragedies. That truth can be elusive. The disappearance and murder of Laci Peterson, a young, vibrant woman about to embark on the joyous journey of motherhood, sent shockwaves through the nation. The idyllic facade of suburban life was shattered, exposing the dark undercurrents that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly perfect families. The case, fueled by a relentless media frenzy and public hunger for every detail, became a morality play, a cautionary tale about the dangers of hidden lives and the devastating consequences of unchecked desires. The trial of Scott Peterson, broadcast into living rooms across the country, transformed the American public into armchair detectives. Debates raged about his guilt or innocence, fueled by circumstantial evidence, allegations of infidelity, and the chilling discovery of Laci and Connor's bodies. The case became a lightning rod for discussions about media influence, the presumption of innocence, and the often elusive nature of truth. In the end, the legal system delivered its verdict guilty. Scott Peterson was sentenced to life in prison, a stark reminder that actions have consequences no matter how carefully concealed. But the pursuit of justice, while bringing a sense of legal closure, did little to soothe the profound sense of loss and the unanswered questions that lingered like ghosts. The families of both Laci and Scott were forever changed, their lives irrevocably marked by the tragedy. The case of Laci Peterson continues to resonate today, not just as a tragic true crime story, but as a cautionary reminder about the importance of listening to our intuition, valuing the sanctity of life, and cherishing the precious moments we have with loved ones. It is a story that compels us to confront the darkness that can reside in the human heart, and to strive for a world where such tragedies are not just mourned, but actively prevented.